Alright everybody, today we are going to be talking about a little concept I made for Gear 5th V2. Of course, he might come this anniversary. Honestly though, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't come this anniversary, but if he does, I'm going to guess he's going to be Light Element. It seems they're switching back and forth from Light and Dark Element. Of course, Garp came last anniversary, so it's time for Light Element. Now people will say there's no way he'll survive, but if you just look at Commissary Shanks, Roger was an absolute monster, but Commissary Shanks somehow could survive Dark Roger, so it is possible. They can make a Light Element fight Garb. They just need to make him really, really OP. But yeah, before I talk about that, I want to talk about a little concept. I really think this is a far stretch and probably not going to happen, but I'm going to talk about this one first. So, what happens if they add Snakeman Luffy EX that revives into Gear 5? I've been wanting a revive character for so long, and I think this is a nice time. I mean, Gear 5 V1 would have been the most perfect time probably, because he actually dies, but, Snakeman Luffy, after he gets all his HP KO'd, or maybe just make it half his HP, whatever you want to do, then, he revives into Gear 5, gets a full HP back, stuff like that would be very nice. I think that would be pretty OP. I mean, he would literally have... is it OP? They added someone like Afro Luffy who has 5 lives. So I don't think that's that crazy, because where he doesn't fully heal after each life, he still can revive himself like 4 or 5 times. So I think just having one revive that heals you to full HP isn't that crazy. But yeah, so Snakeman Luffy into Gear 5 would be awesome. But yeah, like I said, unfortunately I don't think that's going to happen. I do think eventually, at one point, this game will add revive characters. At one point. Maybe. We'll see. But, I mean, Gear 5 Luffy is, like, the perfect character to do it on. Or, I mean, I guess they could just make him a transforming character. I never really thought of it that way, but, Snakeman transforming into Gear 5. Of course, people will probably want to just play Gear 5 straight up, but it's possible, it's possible. For my guess, though, so we have Light Element Whitebeard. This is not the Snakeman anymore. This is my actual, prediction. So, Light Element Whitebeard we have, Defender. Light Element Shanks, Runner. And then, I assume this Luffy might be Light Element Attacker. Of course, I think Luffy is going to have all 3 types still, all 3 classes. I think that's how it's going to be. But I think he's going to start off as an attacker instead of a defender. And of course, you just go sit on the first treasure, boom, you're defender. You go grab the enemy's flag, boom, you're a runner. You are out of your treasure area, whatever, boom, you're a attacker again. That's how I think it's going to work. I mean, like I said, Dark Element, we have a Dark Runner and a Dark Attacker, Garp and Roger, of course. So I believe then that means we're going to get a Dark Defender next anniversary. And yeah, this anniversary, like I said, I mean, would they add it? I don't know. I mean, it's possible. They could add, I guess, Red as the first EX, Dark as the second, and then Light as the third. It's possible. But, going off their themes, we got for the 5.5 anniversary, S-Snake and Lucci, Blue. And then we got Commissary Shanks, Light. Then next anniversary, we got Dark, Green, Garp, Kuzan, and Sabo, of course. And this anniversary, if they continue that theme, it should be Red, Light, or Red, Light, Red. I mean, it doesn't matter what order they, make them in, but it should be 2 Reds and 1 Light Element, if we're going off the theme they've been doing. But, I wouldn't mind, I guess, too much. I really want Saturn to be a Dark Element if he comes this anniversary. Honestly, if they do wait till next anniversary, though, Dark Defender Saturn would make a lot of sense. But yeah, so Gear 5, I mean, will he have another OP counter thing like his other one? I don't think so. Of course he's going to have his Star Gun, probably. I would assume he's going to have his Star Gun as one of his moves. And I believe they're going to take inspiration from both the Lucci in Gear 5 fight and the Kizu in Gear 5 fight, I assume. Of course, they're not just going to leave the Lucci out. It's going to be just Egghead Luffy in total. So it'll be both fights. So Star Gun, definitely, it has to be one of his moves. I think it could be like Shanks. Maybe he has one skill 2, some other random skill 2, maybe some running attack or something like that, I don't know. And then, it changed into the second skill 2, which is Star Gun, that, imagine it like auto locks on the enemy and can bounce off or something. Bounce off a wall and whack them in the head or something like that. That'd be very funny. I assume that move's gonna have some range on it. He did it from a decent distance to Kizu. I mean, it wasn't crazy far or anything, but, I think it's gonna have some range. If Luffy does have a counter, what will it probably be? I mean, probably just grab the ground again. Or maybe, I don't know if you remember, but during the Lucci fight, he makes his head gigantic, remember, and tries to eat Lucci. That could also be one of his moves. Also, when he clashes with Luffy, that could also be another move they could add. Where it's a teleporting, hockey punch. If you remember the clash with Lucci, that was kind of like the Enies Lobby punch. If they really want to do that, I would say that could be a teleporting move. You just teleport on the enemy, do a giant hockey punch. Maybe it can take away their skills or something like that, like only Luffy does. That would be very cool, in my opinion. What else could they do? I mean, Star Gun, like I said, definitely. They could add, like I said, a giant where he turns his head giant or something. I mean, if they wanted to just make Luffy a straight-up giant character, they could. I don't think they are going to. At least not with this Gear 5, but they could. Because, yeah, Luffy does go giant a few times. Not too many. Not as much as really Wano, but... I mean, he will later. Of course, that's not animated yet, but he will go giant. Quite a bit in the future. So if he doesn't come this anniversary, I think it's possible he could be a giant character. But I don't know. Personally, I don't know. Giant characters are so weird. They're so slow. I mean, shield characters absolutely counter them so hard. I mean, I remember during Brogy came out. Brogy, in my opinion, was #1 in the game. He was way too tanky to die. Dory also was insanely good. And then they released Uta, Halloween Uta. She had not only shield on herself, but she had her pumpkin, and the giants just couldn't compete because they're so slow and their damage is with their normal is not insane, so they couldn't destroy the pumpkin or her shield. And, she would just kill you eventually. So, yeah, Gear 5, Star Gun as skill 2, at least, if not skill 2. I don't think they're going to give him no nuke skill like his V1. I mean, I don't think he does any skill like that, so, yeah, no nuke skill or anything. I mean, there's so many, he does so many moves. There's so many moves they can give us. My preferred one, like I said, would probably be a teleporting hockey punch, like he, clash with Lucci kind of punch. That'd be my personal attack for skill 1 I would want. And then Star Gun as skill 2, or Star Gun as skill 2 too. After you use the first skill 2, you can use a second version, just like, Shanks. Light attacker, I mean... If they want this guy to compete with Garp, what does he need? He needs a multi-hit attack, 100%. So, I mean, his Star Gun, I could say, I don't know, maybe a Star Gun could be a multi-hit if they really wanted to. I mean, he could just have a Gatling gun, a Gatling type attack if they really wanted to. I think his normals will have multi-hit, just like V1 Gear 5 kind of has a multi-hit on his normals. He's going to have to be, I mean... Would they give Gear 5 shield? I don't think Gear 5 is a character that would get shield, but it's possible, I guess. I mean, no, Jobber makes sense. I was going to say Jobber doesn't really make sense, but he is a Zoan. Zoan's very tanky shield. Garp's durability is pretty insane, so, that makes sense he has shield. But, yeah, they could give shield to anyone they want. It doesn't matter. The Sanji brothers make sense because they're very durable. Luffy is definitely very durable, so yeah, he could get shield. I think, Garp's blue hole is one of the most dangerous skills in the game. One of those in any light element is dead currently. So if he had shield, that would at least save you from one blue hole, which would be very good. And then he could just, multi-hit you or something and get a little bit shield back, just like Garp gets it when he knocks you down. He gets 50 or something, but... it's enough to tank one attack. And then, attacker, so There'll be Kuzans and Sabos. I don't think he's gonna, counter all the current EXs in the game, the best ones. Akainu would be nice if he counters. I mean, if he had multi-hit, he'd probably counter him already. Insane damage. I mean, they could give him the 1 HP trait while in the treasure area. Of course, there are a few people who can negate it, but, if they gave him the HP trait, the 1 HP trait, where if you're in your treasure area or any treasure area, you can't die, the Odin trait, I think that'd benefit him a lot. I mean, that's a way for him to counter Garp. I mean, like Yamato, Red Yamato, she is such a great Garp counter because he can't kill her while she's in the treasure. So if he had that, that would be more than enough to, counter Garp. Kuzan's would be a little problem though, because of course he has a 1 HP trait. Sabo also, kinda, because of course he can light you on fire and knock you out of the treasure area when you're at 1 HP, and then that'll just kill you. I mean, I was gonna say they could do something like, Afro Luffy? Yeah, Afro Luffy, where they just give him multiple lives when he's on the treasure. But that'd feel definitely repetitive. I mean, making 2 Luffy characters pretty much the same back to back. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's the reason why I think Gear 5 might not come. I think Kizu, Saturn, and Blackbeard might be the best characters to come. I mean, we will see. So once we get the first EX, we'll be able to determine the theme of the anniversary a little better. I mean, I feel like it's either going to be Saturn or Kizu. One of the two. I think Kizu makes more sense. Saturn, I mean, technically he hasn't done much. I mean, he just appeared and now we're in Kuma's backstory for like the next 3-4 months. So we're not going to see much of Saturn. So will they make him an EX just based off that one episode? It's possible. I hope they do. I've been waiting for him for a long time, but yeah, so it's either going to be probably Kizu, Saturn, Blackbeard, or Gear 5, Kizu, Blackbeard. I think makes the most sense for the anniversary. I mean, Blackbeard, will he come finally after 10,000 years? Who knows? I mean, they did release V1 Shiryu and V2 Shiryu and V2 Burgess. So that does make me feel like we have a little better chance than we used to get Blackbeard. I mean, if Bandai really wanted to, we could have had 3 versions of Blackbeard at the moment, 100%. They could have done V1 Blackbeard, of course, like we already have. Then they could have done one after Marineford, they'd just give them the Quake powers. And then they could have done one on the Law and Blackbeard fight. Just like that, boom, 3 versions of Blackbeard, yet we only have one after 6 years, which is crazy, but yeah, I don't know what they're doing Blackbeard, but yeah, Luffy, he's gonna be insane if he comes. I think, like I said, he's gonna have all classes, just like V1. I think he's gonna be a light attacker. I would love if they made him a revive character, but will they? Probably not. Would it be very fun? Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Snakeman, Revive, Gear 5, insanely cool. But we will see. The first EX comes out in, well, actually, I don't know. The scout points end 26, but now that Afro Luffy's banner came out, it might not be till after Afro. Actually, no, there has to be scout points. There has to be something in the scout point shop at all times. So either some random EX rebanner that you can buy with scout points will come, or the new EX will come. We'll see. But the new EX is still less than a month away. We'll just have to see who it is. My guess is Kizu or Saturn as the first EX.